in if 100 Thieves can take this.
Destiny is only in the hands of 100 Thieves. This is the sharpest spear versus the hardest shield. This is Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. This is the unstoppable force versus the immovable object. The best attack in VCT versus the best defense in VCT. This one's a banger.
Yeah, and they say that the best defense is good offense. And for 100 Thieves, I'm looking to see where they're going to set Will up. So often on this map, Ender was talking about it, they love pushing this guy down mid, and you already see that duo working in conjunction. A dart can go deep here. The likes of Derek flash over for Asuna. I'd expect them to fight this space. For Ghost Gaming, though, they're just going hard, eh? This will likely end in towards a retake.
Exactly that, 100T. Going to get all the info in the world already over towards B, so it has to be a fast take here for Ghost.
Yeah, that it does. And that space is already garnered. Spike will come on down, and 100 Thieves just looking to prod. They've already re-cleared a lot of space in towards mid and have the potential to commit to his flank here if they want it, but time is now ticking towards the favor of Ghost.
Not a lot of util for them to retake with, but they still have that one Viper wall. Orb already ready. Decent save up so far from 100T, but it's already going to be Nismo pushing at the situation. He's the first death of the round, first death of the game so far. 100T, full control now of sight. You only have one coming up from the flank behind, 4 people staying in the middle of the main, and now it's just chaos. Here comes the swings. Stellar, Derek, all trying to get frags, and it's Bang in the back, getting the defuse. 2 players at one time for Ghost, not able to get a crossfire onto the spike, and there goes the defuse.
Yeah, and for 100 Thieves, they love this. Heavy committing towards one side of the map, being incredibly comfortable in playing towards that retake, and that's exactly what they did. They controlled deep towards mid, they controlled deep towards A. They knew that no one was flanking, no one was playing elsewhere on that map. That Ghost was fully committed in towards the post, and then that one Viper Orb that was always sitting in towards A main allows that plant to get stuck with the distraction in towards main. Good stuff out of them, but Ghost Gaming, off of getting that plant down, they will make a small investment here. Koalanu trying to get something done with that Guardian.
Here. I can't use that.
It's only that for now, 100T. Contrary to what we saw in the last round. Barely any sort of approach back in main, especially back in tunnel. They just have that one tripwire there alongside the camera. They could just stay still. Ghost now. This is exactly what 100T wants. Give them this control. Potentially try to retake this, but what is this setup on B?
Yeah, it's just playing in deep. This wall allows a little bit of a sneaky angle for the Viper playing in position.
Very.
Asuna, he will be revealed here in a bit of trouble from that classic.
Bang in the back. Can do quite a bit of damage. But no, Nismo was already pre-firing into the angle, and he gets a couple of headshots onto Bang. 4v5 now, make it a 3v5! It's just a massacre! Ghost! Somehow able to scrap together 3. 100C. They were the ones that came into this round with a W. They were the ones that came into this round with the money. And it's Stellar and Derek, all on their lonesome. Facing against 4 full ones from Ghost, but Stellar.
30 seconds
Big
left.
shot coming out from the big wall. You still have Spike stuck in the back of sight. There's still an option here, potentially for Ghost to rotate out of here. But with 20 seconds left, they might as well just commit.
And that flank will be pulled off. There's still shock darts available here. This could deny the plant one, and it's good damage, but not a finish. Now on the post plant, 100 Thieves hold this man advantage, and they have information on both players. One revealed by the knife, the other spotted off his darts.
Oh, Proto, he might have been hurt around the corner by Stellar. Indeed he was. Stellar takes him down, and now it's a clean 2v2, but never mind. Derek, super low, goes down in an instant. Now it's a 1v1. Stellar finds Brock, knows exactly where Nismo is, but Nismo has all the advantage. He only needs 1 bullet to take on Stellar, and the angle is good. Nismo wins it out with a 3K. 1-1 already.
And Nismo is just so consistently good in these light fire rounds with the classic in hand. It always feels like this guy is able to find value, good space, taking in towards mid. The players for 100 Thieves were trapped in towards the site, and then Ghost show a great element of patience. Wait for that Viper utility to fully recharge, wait for the team to be rejoined by Nismo, and they hold strong in towards the end. 100 Thieves now, very tough spot. They invested heavily into this round, and now Ghost Gaming have turned those tides completely.
Yeah, it's 100T. Classics all the way down the line, so something fast. Most likely on the menu. Only 2 players here on A. Could be fairly slick 1 or 2 frags, but Ghost are playing this so safely. All that control, gonna get that plant. 100T, they could definitely try a full 5v5 here, but again, it's just those classics. Here they go. Nismo, John QT on the front lines, combining for 3. 100T, they do find 2 frags back, and Asuna and Bang. Like a couple more points for their ults. Otherwise,
is
still trying
dangerous
to
now.
find some space.
Yeah, they still have that orb available for Bang. Some weapons are down. Pop flash
Oh, that
for Asta.
flash.
If he can find a big one off that could be
No way.
massive. And now he's recovered the weapon as well.
Brock has the angle, and he's going to be able to take down Austin on Bang now. 1v2, has a molly, pulls out the Vandal. Could have been big, but Brock is actually still stuck in the corner right behind the molly. Bang takes him down, needs a headshot, but can't nail it. A Proto scraps together the round that Ghost came into, again, against Classics.
Yeah, still way too tight there, even though Ghosts take that one home. 100 Thieves push the limit. They see that wall coming on up. Again, they have great information towards the other side of the map. Asuna throws out an early knife for info in one position. And as well, I believe Derek with that early bolt, they realize that it's just going to be a simple hit towards A. They wait for the moment when that spike is being planted. Might a really good punish, but again, not enough. We get our first rifle versus rifle round here in the fourth, and it seems like Ghost does want to slow things down a little bit. They're expecting this mid-aggression out of Will, which might just come again. Will and Asa, they either play for mid or towards elbow on these aggressive rounds so often, and Ghosts have already set up to deny the play.
I mean, you said it, Will. Breeze can be a bit of a playground, and again, Zach said it absolutely was. Took a lot of space essentially for free in that mid area. This is one that he loves, but he's not exactly going to be able to take it. Ghost placed a lot of presence there, but they're only going to leave Koala Noob at this point. John QT has made his way all the way up tunnel. He's really just trying to boot on pressure, but Stellar just might be running into his crosshairs. It's no trigger discipline, though, and he has no idea Will is behind him.
Yeah, but still, that now shows that this A site is likely to be open. So often, 100 Thieves just play retake or play a sole cipher on the site, and that is the case here. Ghost Gaming will control towards A, but look over towards the halls. There's a flank coming through, and with no trademark available to watch, someone's going to have to go back and clear out Will.
Koala Noob, if he clears out mid here, that's a massive push for him back towards stairs. Indeed, he's going to do that. He's going to be able to help out his team at the back of A, and that's even bigger. Nismo taking down the one lurker in the back of A, and Koala Noob now has the crossfire, but he's not going to be able to connect. It's a 3v3, and the Viper's pit is up.
Now that it is. Spike is planted just on the outside and will be spotted. Utility is still good. Bang is just looking to stick on towards this one, but the mollies should deny, and that they will. Spike is off. Hit does fall, and now in this post plant, things it's off where Derek finds another.
Brock, he has to dodge this flash. Diffuse going in a bit late, too. Almost giving up Brock a chance, but instead it's going to be a second round from 100T. So much pressure onto A main.
The utility is just impeccable there out of Asuna. So much value being found from these pop flashes, retake after retake. The round started so poor for 100 Thieves, losing the player in towards Hall, being able to find the punish on the return, but Will being so aggressive on that flank forced Ghost to make a play. In a way, forced out that Viper's pit to try and provide some sanctity. But then Koala Noob didn't get anything on his push in mid, so suddenly you're getting pinched from both sides. You don't have a lot of time left working in your favor, and the util usage is just excellent. Now the ult economy even insane for 100 Thieves. They've earned everything they could like, and it's just an anti-eco, so I don't expect much more in this Blaze Storm to be committed.
No, but again, it's so rare that you see every single one of these ultis charged up already by the second round. Will already going to use up those knives, though, try to make this job a bit easier for his team. But look at 100T actually over on the other side. They use yet another insurance policy in terms of the Viper's pit.
Yeah, not too much given away there. Just the one-for-one trade, and good information for 100 Thieves. John Cutie is the biggest danger in this round, working forward with that tour de force, but he's been revealed. This Hunter's Fury could be destructive, and that it is still. The trade's a possibility. It's just the tag stuff.
Too far away. It's too far away, Brock. Just can't make it to Derek off of the Hunter's Fury. Derek even took on one of those hits. Could have been so scary, but even scarier now is the situation in the middle of A, but Asuna does mitigate it, finds a headshot as he goes down to 23 HP. Only 2 remaining now.
And still, there's that tripwire deep in towards Hull, so 100 Thieves feel comfortable in just hunkering down towards back yellow, leaving their Cypher playing in towards mid. It's a very secure setup, even if it may still seem dangerous.
30 seconds left.
And they still have Viper Wall ready. They still have double shocks, double mollies. Actually, only make it double mollies. Asuna takes down Koala Noob, but a Proto. Nice little shot onto Stellar. He could at least make a bit of damage here. He only has 5 HP, but certainly a bit of a hope. Asuna around the corner. One shot of that Deagle should be able to do it, but Asuna gives him a haircut instead. Third round for 100T.
Great patience by 100 Thieves in that one. Their initial aggressive play doesn't quite work out for them, losing Will, and they completely reset. I think the Cypher choice on this map has given so much value on Over. Obviously, Chamber the more prevalent pick, but since the change to single trip, I think Cypher, you can find more value out of as long as you have a Jet who's comfortable in opping, because you get not only that camera as a piece of information on a map with so many wide angles, but also both those tripwires. We saw one holding down towards halls, a second that can pivot either towards the double doors in mid, towards A main for a kill trip or anywhere else. And you also have that camera. It means 100 Thieves can be a lot more gambly and can lean a lot more into the aggression on their defensive side.
I mean, that Cypher pick is everything in terms of 100 Thieves' kind of preference to play around some safer spots and safer approaches. Definitely play a bit slower, to say the least, with Cypher having all that utility on A, but util might not be too much to actually stop this.
And see, in this one, it's just the one kill trip placed on site. The second trip holding back towards the spawn side in halls, but Trip finds nothing. Asuna just trying to get some value out of the fragment. It's chip damage, but now these players isolated on the site.
They know that there's two back pyramid. This is big. How's the cross? It doesn't work. Asuna takes down Nismo. There's still 4 players all the way back in main. Will's trying to take it down to half, but it's not going to happen. No ultis now for Ghost too. They need to fight this post plane. They need to find some lineups here off of the fight. Oh, off of the snake fight. And indeed, it's going to work like that. Is the time enough though? Are they going to be able to get this defuse at all? Koala Noob going for a shot. Asuna still staying alive. But again, Stellar, Bang, or excuse me, Asuna going down. Stellar and Bang still alive, still trying to go for the defuse. Defuse down to half. The angle wasn't enough. That angle. So close for Koala Noob to shut down the defuse. If he takes Koala Noob down, that round is all for Ghost, but instead it's 4-2.
And that plant angle just slightly wider than usual for Ghost. The utility forced them to plant there. And in the late round, it comes back to harm them. The lineups were good for delay, but not too much more. 100 Thieves continuing to prove how strong they are in these retake situations. And for Stellar, it's about just saving his life for these big late round plays. He provides information in the early round, sticks there to help in those retake situations. Ghost now need to start to confront this momentum. Down onto a lesser buy here. Most of their ults squandered. This is going to be tough.
Yeah, big timeout here. It's going to have to be a big change up from Ghost because, I mean, first of all, their D side is already pretty good. As long as they really get like 3 or 4, they might just be fine, or they could at least fight. Being serious, at least so far in this half, we've seen more or less what we expected from 100 Thieves, especially from their game against Exit. It is more or less that slower approach, allowing for maybe a small bit of map control, but Will has actually been tethered quite a bit so far this game. And 100 Thieves, they are pretty much just letting Ghost just fall right into their laps.
I mean, they haven't committed quite as deep in towards the aggression for Will on this map, but it's for good reason. Ghost is generally set up in the rounds that 100 Thieves is looking to make those plays in middle and countered it early. It doesn't always have to be the flashy, complete control of space. When it's just the information, when your Cypher gets play over towards A, you can just rotate off that. It doesn't have to be a full commitment, and I think that tempered aggression is a lot better look for Will. In this one, he'll go back into it, getting on top of the wall, a flash to peek, and that's all he wanted. Early info is just a play in towards mid. Now they know it's not because of both him and the player in towards double doors, so suspicions arise that, hey, this is going to be an A trip. However, again, that kill trip has been spotted on out, so Ghost will make it into the site unharmed.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, Stellar's not even going to fight. He goes all the way back towards mid. Commit all 5 rifles here against the Petri dish of a buy. It's only Brock in that backline too, but sticking up with a Marshall is not even able to get any sort of information. Stellar all the way out in the open takes him down. That wallop is actually pretty good. You could be able to have maybe 2 or 3 players trying to play up for site, try to be a little bit more aggressive and trying to fight for the back of this site, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be Asuna coming in with double a proto on the mid side. The only hope that they could have had for a couple of kills, but a 5th for 100T.
Yeah, so Ghost has been able to consistently get this spike down over towards the A site. That's good, but their post plants have been tough, and we already talked about how valuable Stellar and Asuna have been in those retake situations, but I think outside of the individuals, it's this lacking mid control for Ghost Gaming. 100 Thieves rarely has to commit a lot. It's just like one updraft for your Jet and a flash out of your KO, boom, you have the whole space. You know that it's going to be a hit towards one side or another, and there's been relatively few rounds where Ghost tries to punish a flank in towards the late round. Even when that has happened, 100 Thieves have already been too deep in towards the retake for it to find value. I wouldn't hate to see Ghost just commit a little bit more into controlling that space in mid, because here again, 100 Thieves, they've pushed down elbow with no one contesting.
it's just about the options, right? Do they even have a backup? Could they back up all the way over to B or back over to mid if they fail here on A? But it's not going to happen. Here we go, though. Ghost, they are going to have a bit cleaner of an entry over on A. And yeah, it's very clean. They put up a red carpet for themselves. And Koala Noob is dashing through.
And this is the change they needed. Maybe it's not mid-control, but it's taking space deep on in. They push through halls, split the space, and now a Viper's good to play with. But Will finds a massive kill there onto Koala Noob. So now, 100Thieves is again in a position where they have the attack pinched from all sides.
Okay, and with the trip down too, they have no idea if anyone's behind. There goes that flank in. It's very slow from Asuna, but Will currently in a 1v1 against Nismo, trying to find somebody. There is so many weird positions here for 100T. They still haven't found anyone from Ghost, but they finally burst out and they get the kills they need. Nismo in a 1v3 gonna be able to get 2, but can't nail the 3rd. Asuna, the one on the flank, the one that took his time, he's the one that nails the round.
Ghost, I think they make the right change there. They split deep in through halls, get that Viper's pit on down. But again, the mid control comes back to bite them. Asuna starts flanking in the very early round. He sends Will back through mid doors and then commits himself in towards that flank. Again, John QT dies early. There's no trademark to watch that flank, and they're so preoccupied with holding the site that no one goes back to commit in towards that play. And Asuna just ends the round with the pinch from Bang.
And that's a big round for 100T.
And that's also now what? Like 4 or 5 retakes in a row
yeah.
just towards the A site? It has been
it's
so
what they
consistent. Yeah. And look at this now, 100Thieves again. Sure, mid-control's been great for them, but they notice that Halls was getting spotted on out because of this shock dart from Ghost that breaks that trip. They now need to send a player, and they will. Will post close, and while they're again conceding this A site, now not only, they might not have space in mid, but they have a flank coming through Halls.
Talk a bit more about that mid interaction just a bit later. But again, Ghost, this is starting to feel like deja vu. That one Viper wall giving them all the control in the world on A.
And this one's different as well, because look at John. He's really deep in towards spawn, just trying to hold down for this flank. He'll have a TP to get back towards his team, and there's a rendezvous to play off of. Taking care of this deep flank is a priority for Will.
Okay, this is big now, but again, him watching this flank, you would assume that this play all the way back over in A main could have some sort of punishment here in the middle of sight, but it just doesn't. Big kill coming out from tunnels, but Derek does an even bigger one just off of the shock darts. John QT over in middle trying to find some sort of impact, and indeed he does! And it's just a mirage of kills! 4 kills go down the board for Ghost in one fell swoop. 100T finally go down.
Yeah, great work there out of Ghost Gaming. Finally, they realize where the deficit has been and holding that space in mid. They find a flank in towards the late round, and this time, not too late. Koala Noob able to buy enough time for the player in mid to find value, and that it does. Still, I don't know how much of a vote of confidence this is for Ghost Gaming, because sure, they finally complete space towards the A site, but 100Thieves will immediately take that loss and say, hey, we need to find a timeout. What went wrong on this one? This is a team that is not satisfied in losing any rounds. They know the converting rounds on this defense puts them in such a good position to win out the map.
Yeah, and again, Ghost not exactly finding too many gaps early on in the round in terms of map control, but we're finally seeing some of those approaches. We finally saw that approach back over in tunnel. Like you said, they were able to find utility that, again, previously wasn't found. That one shock dart led 100T to commit at least 1 or 2 players towards tunnel pretty much that entire round. And that's all that Ghost needs. Needs some sort of contingency, but needs some sort of presence throughout the map to at least keep 100T on their toes, and definitely not on that full rotation, as, again, Ghost has done this same exact A play.
Yeah, but part of that, beyond just struggling with the A play itself, it means that they're lacking information on how 100Thieves plays the rest of this map. They've been spotted multiple times with that play in towards mid, combining Will and us. You know, we've talked it to death. But for the actual hold on the B site, this one has been interesting, right? It's a wall that you don't see quite as often. Playing for deep control allows a couple of weird lurk angles. And again, look at that elbow control. A trademark will be placed, so it's not a priority for Ghost, but it looks like we'll again find ourselves in a retake for 100Thieves. And bang, that's such a big frag to find.
And here comes the burst of the wall. The flash doesn't even work. John QT is able to get 2, and Ghost in one fell swoop. They take pretty much everyone, but it's only 2 now. Stellar finds one out in the open, and he makes it a 1v1. Nismo does throw out an early flash, and he has a whole lot of util. Still another flash, and has the fragment to use. In the back right, Stellar somehow finds him. It's very quiet, though. Does Stellar even know that he crossed over to the left side? Nismo, he's so sneaky, slithering through Stellar. Just can't find an angle, can't find a pixel. Nismo can play time for the rest of this round. He's playing a perfect game of Ring Around the Rosie. This is perfect. Nismo does not need to kill Stellar to win this round. This is how he wins.
Tucks in close is a perfect angle. Stellar is now so cautious about main that he never expects the player in close. And Nismo closes it out a 3K for the man. Impeccably played, but for 100 Thieves in that early round, I feel like they get a little greedy to go fast in towards the retake. They want to help their player and bang towards the back lines, but in doing so, they sacrifice players in the early round. Stellar didn't have an opportunity to fully rotate on over, and while they've had a great streak of momentum in those wins towards the 8 retakes, it's all been incredibly close rounds, so their economy isn't stable. Ghost is still in a great position to even rally back towards 6-6 here.
And it was only 2 rounds later, 2 lost rounds later. We end up seeing pretty much a reset from 100T. They're forced down to that half buy. Ghost, this time they are switching things up just a bit more. Way slower of an approach, spread back towards the B side.
And it's interesting, you notice the setup for the Viper of Bang, he's only putting his wall in the early round. Most of the times you see either that wall position towards mid or it's saved towards the late round with the orb placed in main to delay time. Bang has instead normally saved that for these retake situations, or at least picked it up to allow better opportunities in that retake.
Exact same positions from when we started the round for Ghost. Not budging whatsoever all the way back in their spawn. And like you said, this Viper wall is one that could allow for a couple of cheeky lurks or at least some elbow peeks. Not a single peek, not a single approach from 100T. It's forcing Ghost to approach.
Here. Sound was made in B main. Bang will note that.
Yeah.
But no one really close to rotate. Derek probably the closest to support. If Bang can get 1 or 2 here before falling, that's best case scenario.
That's a huge molly. What can Bang actually do here? Is he going to be able to find one in the middle of this site? Koala Noob confusing the heck out of Bang. Don QT just bursts out of the right side and takes him down. Well done, 100T. 4 players trying to get back into this one. Koala Noob at the angle for the mid side, misses out on the shot. This is decent control. The middle of sight as long as they don't lose Brock, but indeed they do. Asuna takes him down immediately with that Sheriff shot and a flash through for Nismo, but he's not able to find anything. What is going on? 2v2. Koala Noob dancing his way in the back of line. Oh, no way, Stellar. It was stuck down to a 1v2. You couldn't even see the kill from a Proto. Thought it would at least be the 2v2, but no. Chances are now low for Stellar trying to go in against Koala Noob. It's just not going to work out. A 5th round for Ghost, as expected.
Excellent work out of Koala Noob, holding things down on that operator. Aids in the entry with John QT. You normally look towards the defensive side when Paul really picks it up with that weapon. You even occasionally see it in the hands of John. But in this one, well, things got a little bit awkward. Still, all is well, all is good for Ghost Gaming. 100 Thieves are being forced to respect this play over towards B. It's been pressured multiple times, and off of that, the setup will be changed. Now that Viper sold towards A. Again, this commitment towards the mid-aggression with the Cypher on the B side, just trying to get a frag or 2 off the kill trips. Finally, though, we do see the mid-aggression versus mid-aggression. Both teams committing into it, but for the side of Ghost Gaming, they want to make this in towards a mid-split, but the ult is so punishing.
Will just dashes out all the way out into the middle of the open, and he still can't go down. 2 players actually go down, one of them down to a molly. This Viper's Pit still so volatile. Oh, but that's so good, the Hunter's Fury! Causing chaos for Bang, but Bang, he actually just runs into a shock dart. Good hold from Bang, though. All worth it, leaving 100T in a 3v2.
Yeah, but this repush coming in through the elbow. So much information already for 100 Thieves. Well, the drone will likely soon get taken down by the ult, but actually still manages to find value. That just confirms that 100 Thieves will commit to this flank, and they're well timed. Spike even yet to be planted. Time still working in their favor. It's up to Eric to draw attention and just let this flank work.
It's a lot of time here, but they know that both of the players are here. Nismo does let go at the perfect time, and now it's Brock in a 1v3 in a firing range. Both players stuck in the middle of main. They could be able to peek out real quick. They still have double smokes, and they even had a cage to use. Spike is still down the middle of sight, though. There goes at least a bit of movement from the players in A main. Brock picks up the Vandal, and he actually decided to fight again instead of rotating. It was a Stellar idea, but it was Stellar there to take it down. 7 of 5. The defensive half goes for 100T. We'll see what happens in the second half right after the break.
100 Thieves rally just a step ahead on map number 1 of Breeze here. Big implications for this 100 Thieves squad, and now they find themselves on their favorite side.
Ghost have only lost 5 defensive rounds out of their last 22. Against TSM, 100% of the first kills went their way on defense. Ghost is such a scary side on this side.
Yeah, this is where they thrive. And for 100 Thieves now, the attack in their favor and, well, the Cypher on their team, I'd expect them to play a little bit slower than Ghost did. They can leverage the information off that Cypher choice, but for Ghost, they're going straight back towards the aggression. Koala already walked deep in towards mid. Derek spotted this on out. 100 Thieves, do they go for containment, or do they try and re-clear the space? It'll be tough. 3 players committed on in.
Oh, Koala Noob with the 1-2 combo! Take it to go. Will does take him down, though, but holy Koala Noob. 3 players still on the bottom of mid. 100 Thieves heavily populated, and they're all gonna go down. There you go, Ghost. A whole lot of pressure down in mid. Again, a rare play, but Koala Noob definitely helped them out.
I mean, what an unfortunate timing there for 100 Thieves. The second that they realize there's mid-aggression coming, they try and move back together to either fight it or rotate towards the B site, which Stellar had found headway towards, but instead, Koala finds the perfect timing and great flashes just to close things on out. Ghost Gaming, their aggression continues to be their key. For 100 Thieves, without that spike plant on down, they'll put nothing in towards this round, just hoping for some damage.
And immediately, actually gonna put Asuna on a mission for an ult orb. 100T, just working a bit of map control early on. Mid control would be so huge for them in a round like this.
Yeah, and I love that Cypher cam. Pretty standard stuff. Place it up top the cannon. You can see anyone swinging you from top mid. The one angle it doesn't really spot is over towards elbow or over towards that mid connector, and you already see on QT posted there with the headhunter. If this does form into a hit towards B and contact is made off that trademark, Nismo will send out his molly to slow time, and imagine the flank through mid will start.
All right, John. First part of his flowchart going in, but he's not going to be able to take down one. Nismo now has to hold it down, but John QT getting his own 2-piece. Derek's going to go down, to John actually too, and it's going to be a Prime Gaming flawless. 7-7, we're tied up.
Yeah, clean stuff there out of Ghost Gaming. They have a contact set up towards main to delay time. That allows Nismo to provide support for his player in towards mid, and well, nothing quite working off of that for 100 Thieves.
Spike down B. 1 enemy remaining.
That was fairly standard. You did want to see 100T in a round like that, at least with the pistols. Try to just get that spike plan early, but ignoring that now, let's see what happens here with 100T on their attacking round, because we're already getting a few lineups back over towards that mid side, and Ghost not really looking for any sort of that fight.
Yeah, early operator out, and early aggression as well. That flash for Nismo has been effective in the past, but in this one, only good for a single frag trade back for 2. And now Koala Noob with that operator will probably just look to make an early save. He hasn't been spotted with the weapon, so it's unlikely 100 Thieves would hunt, and unless his teammates can find something big, this is looking like a round for 100 Thieves.
These are guns that Ghost are willing to drop, though, so let's see. Except for, of course, the op, but
yeah.
Marshall Spectre. Still trying to find at least some sort of mileage in the middle of this site, and indeed they are going to get Brock and a Proto. At least approaching up close and personal. Eldro not able to find anyone as Brock is trying to get a bit of a wider angle. Well, just playing a bit of bait and switch in the middle of this site, but this is good. 100T, no one wide peeking angles that they shouldn't. Viper wall going up. A pretty stellar time, leaving everything safe. And indeed, that's what 100T are going to rely on. They easily get the 2 kills in the middle of that site. 3 players are able to survive. Again, their economy, very fragile. They need all the rifles that they can get right now. And 3 at least is good.
Henceforth, I'm banning the word stellar from your vocabulary. Unless you're talking about the players, not the
Sorry.
New rule. Ground
It's
rule.
the wrong game.
Ground
It's the
rule has been
wrong
placed
game
on
for
the
me to
map.
be saying this.
Just continuing to claim the low-hanging fruit. This is honestly so sad. For Ghost Gaming, though,
I'm trying. Not intentional.
all good. Ghost Gaming's feeling happy, though. They've pulled out the double op setup. They committed that early weapon for Koala. Hope they could get something done off it, but now John has one as well. This setup has been incredibly efficient in the past for Ghost, and for 100 Thieves being a team that loves playing that post plant, having early ops to get damage on in is a great play. Side of Ghost Gaming, spot made on towards Will. No kill, but that's info that this will be a hit towards B. And look who's here, John with the second off.
A massive rotation. Not a single player staying in the middle of the A site. 100T. It's slowly inching their way on, though. They do have some decent util to actually make their way on, but a Proto slithering his way through elbow, and it's just going to be Brock with a double. One player remaining, and it's Bang coming in from mid. It's a 1v5. No way! He makes it a 1v1! Bang! So close to glory now. A Proto in the back of sight playing now with util, but Bang might just be one of the best plays of his career. Can he finish it?
Oh, he spots him out, and he's looking to find it! Bang with the 1 versus 5 ace clutch! What is that?
It's just unbelievable. Bang keeps 100T on top, and not only on top, it's back-breaking for Ghost. I mean, one of the best plays at the most opportune time. There's no other way to describe it.
Second 1v5 on the day, and also, this is Bang's second 1v5 just within the group stages. This guy is mental for 100 Thieves. I'd expect him to just maybe even take a timeout off that to slow things down, but they want to head straight back on in. For Ghost Gaming, though, that's crippling. So much was invested, the double ops, everything was going so right. And just no one's watching Bang.
Nobody caring about Bang at the very end. They all care now. Ghost, at least in this round, rolling with a bit more bodies back over towards that A side, of course, because of those pistols. But it's that same approach that we've seen from 100T so many times. At least a little bit of presence back over towards mid, but nothing overwhelming, nothing in terms of an actual move. It's at least keeping an eye on it. But 100T are actually converging back their default quite early.
Proto's looking to be the man to find the early information if this is a play over towards main, which it does look to be. Viper Wall still has plenty of fuel left, so a little bit of delay left in the tank. Rotates will come on over for Ghost Gaming. 100 Thieves does still have an opportunity to rotate out, but their flanks are well controlled, so are likely safe even if they do commit in towards this stack.
So tempting that ult orb too. So many players
30 seconds
just 1
left.
point away. But then again, just a kill should be able to do it. They're actually wrapping right around A. And again, you look at A, you look at that radar, you see 4 players here. And indeed, thinking about the other way, but it's just going to be that split.
Yeah, they were trying to fake things on out, but now it's a commitment to the site. The stack's still here.
Uh-oh. No, the spike has to go down. Koala Noob holding it down. He's able to get 3. Derek in the middle of the site can't do anything. 100T, they wait until the very last second, and they run right into the army of Ghost. A thrifty round at its finest.
Fundamentally, I think the idea there is good from, I'd imagine, Stellar, right? They realize we spent too long, we have relatively little control over towards the extremities, we've conceded so much space on this map, so they try and feign the run back towards the B site, but it doesn't work. Ghost holds their nerve. They even attempted a second time, going towards mid doors, running back, then running back. It just kind of felt like a half-hearted fake that just ended in a chaotic take that was never going to work well if you're running in towards lesser weapons or not.
It wasn't going to work out well, but again, they needed space over in A main to really make that work, and Ghost just didn't provide any of that. Again, 4 players in the middle of that site, most of them being off angles. Ghost doing pretty much everything they could in a round like that. They end up winning it out. Now, 100T don't exactly know their buy situation. I think they're still going to be good on rifles, but this is now Ghost's chance to really get back into this.
Yeah, that it is. And my biggest question is if they're going to invest back in towards this double operator setup. It's worked really well for them in the past, and well, they lost that first round to Bang. It wasn't the fault of the setup. I think fundamentally it was well played and worked in towards their favor. However, in this round, the money's still not quite supporting that one, despite the win on the Eco. They have some big ults to work with, though. Nismo with his null command available on a retake, and Brock just around the corner from getting that Hunter's Fury. For 100 Thieves, though, it does appear they want to take this one quickly over towards B. That knife will hit towards top mid, and might just disable the player trying to amble up top. Already deep, though, is Koala Noob, so he could end up behind them if this hit towards B happens. Things get awkward now in mid.
Oh, does he clear the left angle? He doesn't at all. Stellar takes him down. The knives from Will could be able to do a bit more damage. Asuna does throw out a flash, though, and it bails him out.
Oh, that ult is popped, no Blade Storm. But a moment, Brock needs to hold on towards this cross, but he doesn't get his opportunity, and now Stellar is holding deep. Ghost trying to re-push through elbow. It's effective for 1. Now Stellar has it pinched, needs to win the fight over John, but unable to do so. Asuna with a flash, but again, they keep falling, and well, it looked risky for a moment. 100 Thieves shouldn't be getting away with anything crazy in this one.
I was about to Yeah, I was about to say, how on earth does Brock actually get that kill around the corner? Excuse me, John QT. Bang now. A 1v3 again. He only had that Sheriff to work with. He has to go down at that point. Starting to look a bit scary, but we are getting a tied scoreline. 9-9.
The aggression there was good out of Ghost. They found space in towards mid, but maybe a little bit of overheat out of Koala. Saw the weird buy out of 100 Thieves, wanted to take advantage of a fast flank, and dying to Stellar. That's how that round almost slipped away. Had there just been a flash for that space in deep, any kind of supporter, him just being a little bit more thorough, could have been a much cleaner round. Small mistakes like that can start to add on up, but for now, Ghost Gaming hold steady. They hold level, and a Viper's Pit will be deployed towards A site. Should stunt any dreams of a fast hit for 100 Thieves.
7 ultis down the line. Both of these teams, too, should just be one last big chance for all of them. Nismo over in mid does at least find one in terms of Asuna. Still yet to go down, but it's just going to be that spray in just a little bit. 100T, they still have way too many bodies in the middle of this tunnel. Are they going to get crossfired up? Easily 1 or 2 straight bullets could hit them down. And indeed, it's happening. John QT, Brock, Nismo combining for 4. It's a death trap in the middle of that tunnel, Mimi.
Yeah, that it is. And Koala was always just holding out towards mid. He walked down in that space, posted on the angle, and just waited. What a great read out of Ghost Game. They expect to play in towards holes as a reply to the Viper's Pit. And then it's just the perfect situation to find value out of that Hunter's Fury. Close quarters, nowhere to run, but straight back into more of the Hunter's Fury. Works impeccably there to find the Prime getting flawless.
Such a good combo. Again, you see that Hunter's Fury go out. Instant flash up from Nismo. 3 players pretty much peeking at the exact same time, having at least some sort of crossfire effect. On to the next. 100T are looking for a way faster of elbow control. They're actually using quite a bit of util to do it.
Yeah, but in this one, Ghost Gaming have chilled out. They're not pushing down mid. Instead, Koala is playing a much more passive angle in towards B. This is just a read that on this lesser by 100 Thieves will be a little bit more dedicated to that space in mid. Still not showing an indication of where they want to finish yet, but Ghost giving a lot of respect in this one.
Poison orb emitting.
Not going to be anything, especially now for 100T2. They already put up that knife all the way back over towards that mid side. They know that nobody's actually watching below nest. At least. They lost eye of sight on that. This is just slow scale up. This is exactly what 100T are known for.
Chin, Koala catches it. Great shot onto Will, and well, Spike still yet to make that cross.
It's just going to have to be this cross up here. Nismo, Koala Noob, collecting frags. Derek now the last one. Still has that Marshall. Still looking for a headshot onto John QT, but it's not going to happen. 11-9. Now Ghost. Can they break the backs of 100T? This could be their last buy, Mimi.
I believe that 100 Thieves still has their tactical timeout. I'd hope to see sometime around here to just take a pause, slow things on down, try and figure out the option. This really is the round, and it's not tactical, but a pause will come through regardless. Seems like one of our players did just drop out of the server. We'll get back into things as soon as possible. But for 100 Thieves, this is an incredibly pivotal round. They have economy back in their tank. They have some big ults built on up as well.
Yeah, they do. And the thing with 100T is that we haven't seen too many opportunities for them to actually be able to combine those ultis. The one round where they had them locked up, they were going for a little bit more of a default. And they did end up getting pinched down all the way back over in halls, didn't they? So again, still looking for a bit more of that mid control. I mean, because I know they can get so much of that null command, and we've seen it so many times from Asuna, comboed up with any other util from 100T. That's how they get a lot of their space. But yeah, in a situation like this, I mean, they really need anything. Like I said, that could just be the last buy for 100T. One more loss in their reset.
Yeah, absolutely. And on this half, I expected a lot of that mid-aggression out of Will in the first half, but for Koala Noob, a lot of the time, it's more so kind of pushing the extremities. Adest was talking about this ahead of time, but in this game thus far, it's been a very heavy commitment to these fights in towards mid. And 100 Thieves, most of the time, hasn't been super committed to that. I think a big part of that is that they're very often placing that cam I talked about earlier over towards cannon, which holds space to see if someone's walking deep. But if you don't catch the right timing on that, someone can tuck in towards a close corner on the box. It's actually showing on the fly-throughs right now and find value. That's what happened in the very final round there that we just watched. watch, where Koala Noob managed to take that space, wins things out in towards the weaning moments of the round. In cutting rotations there, you can get a ton done, but does seem we're back into things here, and for 100 Thieves, like we said, this is a big round for them. They have tools, though. They have that Viper's Pit, as well as that Hunter's Fury available for Derek. If they can finally get post plant, they're in good position to win it.
Let's see what's going to be this early approach. You can already see potentially recon alongside quick approach from Will. That's exactly what's happening. Nobody watching up that mid cross. Will is safe.
They'll find space here. Koala still just looks to contest it. The man dry swings straight in towards mid and takes down Will.
And look at the B-hold. 3 players here in the middle of this site, and the 100 team are still going for it.
Yeah, they just got tagged down by that knife, so 100 Thieves is forced to cancel. Now Hunter's Fury will be popped on out from Derek. They know players are towards that back castle position, but there's no one to follow up because John is still holding, still waiting with this operator, and so the exchange of utility finds no space for 100 Thieves. They're going to be forced to fall back, reset, and towards a pretty late position in the round.
Yeah, but this is quite the spot here for a Proto. He is essentially shifted over to a position where you could just assume it's a full B hold or a full retake setup. Not willing to rotate back over towards A whatsoever, but Asuna, alongside the rest of 100T, still playing around with elbow and still actually trying to get back into B. This could be big. Nismo with a massive flash, though, shuts down Derek and still has a couple more players to deal with. Brock and Nismo still crossed up, and it's Brock to get the bulk of them. And he gets all of them. It's 3 for Brock, and it's 12 for Ghost.
What a great hold out of Ghost Gaming. The denial of space for 100 Thieves there is impeccable. It starts with that opening frag happening over towards mid, but 100 Thieves off that. The reaction they wanted was a fast hit towards that B site. They even commit the Hunter's Fury to doing so, but the utility layering and just the number of players that were there, that were stacked towards that site, completely denied the play, and now it's map point here for Ghost Gaming on their choice of Breeze and 100 Thieves weaponry. A little bit worse for wear. They still do have that Viper's Pit available for Bang if they can find themselves into a post plant. That'd be great. It's always been the win condition for 100 Thieves to get the post plant, but this half, they've only gotten that spike down a single time.
So difficult now too, Ghost. Whoa, with a bit of pressure. So many extremities. You have Koala Noob back over in mid. You have Nismo. Quite the aggressive little angle back over in B main.
And look, that player is still posted mid. Koala never left, but Will actually expects the angle. Cheeky shot with the Bulldog burst to find the opening frag. Drone will come in towards elbow. It shows Asuna, so still just one player known, but Stellar in the meantime. He's worked his way in deep and might just find a backstab on the B players.
Oh, but the position from Brock is essentially giving up mid entirely, so this position really just doesn't matter. They're already compensating for this. Here comes a big kill from Will, though. That makes this take a little bit easier for 100T. There's still 2 players here. John QT with a big shot. You still have Will on the right side, needing to dash on over. But look at the position from Stellar. He actually didn't commit back into B, still shifting back over into A. And Ghost, they called this out immediately. 2 players rotating back towards their spawn. Stellar has the angle from mid. Will he actually find a couple of headshots here? Brock! Oh, he flicks around and he does find it, but it's only going to be Brock now in a 1v3, looking for the cross-up from 3 players from the mid side, but he only finds 1. Will and Bang trying to take this one over, and okay, the Viper's Pit actually goes up in that 1v2 scenario. Surely an insurance policy.
Guard is available in 3 seconds here. Bang is wounded. If he can drop that Viper's Pit, Brock is in a great position to win this, but 100 Thieves playing things carefully. That pit extends deep in towards the double door, so even if they drop it, they still have a great post.
Whoa, what is that? His aim's right towards the wall. I thought maybe he would have bounced it. It's right in front of him. Brock might have known where that molly might have come from.
Here's it.
Definitely no idea where the jet is. Gonna be able to find Bang, but the 180 from Will finds Brock again. Such an awkward little situation. If Will just a bit farther away, he might not have been able to get that trade, but instead, it's double digits for 100T and they stay alive.
Yeah, a lot of setups being ran here for Ghost Gaming where they're using that trademark for contact on a play. Sometimes it's been over towards A, sometimes over towards B, or they're setting that chamber trip up in different positions. In this one, it's placed towards B, but there's an exchange for that. In towards the late round, that means someone could lurk up holes, find value, and that's exactly what Stellar did. Being able to cut off that rotation, find one, and make that clutch pretty tough to win for Brock.
Uh-oh, aggression here from Koala Noob. Stay here in the middle of his smoke to block out the recon bolt. Still has knives to work with, but he's isolated Derek.
So deep in this one. He's still unaware of Derek's position, and
Oh.
Derek will look to redraw on the space. He's done this many times, and usually Koala gets out. In this one, he tries to get in, wants to take the fight on towards the droning player, but there was players to defend by 100 Thieves. Well set up out of them to get an opener, and now with that Cypher ult popped information, is it B? Is the softer site, and they'll look to hit it.
Just best case scenario there. So much util to still work with on this take, and out goes the null command. Will
It's so deep.
looking for a target in the back line. Oh, Brock is able to find one, but the player right in front of him, still a bit awkward. 7 bullets still remaining. He's able to find a headshot. Derek's right in front of him too. Brock is just playing whack-a-mole, and the plane is not able to go down. How are they not able to take him down? How are they not hunting for him? Brock still playing ring around the rosy, but the spike finally goes down, but John QT gets yet another one, but it's Brock once again on his lonesome. A 1v2 after his teammates go down. Cage is up. He's still able to play some space, and he's able to get yet another kill. Oh, 3 bullets, and he doesn't nail it. 100T, keep the game going.
And they bring it within 1 here of overtime. Great plays by 100 Thieves. They've really slowed things down. They've realized that Ghost Gaming is going to get aggressive in towards mid. They can punish that play from Koala Noob and just look to mid-round as things get late. 2 spike plants in a row. 2 wins in a row for 100 Thieves.
I mean, what was that statistic again? It was like 90% of their
90%.
post plants.
And in this map, 100% thus far. They've won every time they get it down.
Everything going their way, at least historically, today too. But it was only those few situations. Again, 100T, they have been struggling to actually find their way into the middle of these sites, but oh man, what a close round to take us here. 11-12. This is a much needed timeout, Mimi.
Yeah, that it is. And I want to talk about Will a little bit. Well, maybe he hasn't been quite as flashy on the pushes for that defensive side, as Ghost Gaming has shown with Koala Noob, but he's shown consistency in being able to get these openers. Both those previous rounds, Will puts people in a nice position. I believe in the previous, both the 2 first kills picked up by Will. He's been a big player for 100 Thieves. And Asuna in support with those flashes. That duo has been doing great work, especially when it gets down towards those late rounds, flashing ops off angles. For a team that really heavily favors that sniper, it has gotten not a whole ton of value in the last few rounds for Ghost Gaming.
We're going to see at least some cheekiness back over towards top mid, but this is just an extra layer to what we saw from Will alongside Derek over towards that mid side. A lot of extra layers, actually. Even put up the Viper Orb all the way up in mid.
Yeah, I really like that knife. It's been thrown out quite a few times by Asuna. It denies anyone kind of early peeking over towards Nest or walking up from the mid connector from B. 100 Thieves, though. This one, they are just walking. They're trying to see if Koala Noob's going to go pushing, if they're going to be tested from any angle, and as far that has not been the case. Asuna will try and re-clear some space in towards elbow. He's just trying to provide pressure there because he knows that there's almost always kind of a sole player in towards the spawn side. In this setup, it's Brock. He's responsible for both mid and holes, and off that flash, a reaction is given. Drone is used.
Here.
Like almost every single round where we've seen one of these slow defaults, or at least the slow bottom mid hold from 100T. We've only really had one situation where Ghost tried to push it out. Doing such a good job of mitigating this pressure. Not trying to approach too much in these early rounds, but this is going to be a bit difficult now. Hunter's Fury going out in the middle of this A take for 100T. It does a bit of damage, but it's not able to do absolutely everything. Stellar and Asuna are down very, very low, but they're still thinking about the take. 20 seconds left. John QT has to hold on at least one of them. Oh, these 2 players around the corner, barely escaping with their lives. You had Asuna down to 5 HP, but Nismo is able to take one down through that smoke. Will looking to make the odds just a bit better. 15 HP left for the man, but the knives aren't able to connect, and the plant goes down.
Well, Bang, he's in a massive position here, but only finds one, and the health is still an issue for 100 Thieves.
Will, up close and personal, 15 HP. He needs 1 kill to really make this HP worth it, but any of these wall bangs should be able to take him down, and indeed it's going to happen. 2 players remaining now for 100T. Derek, Asuna in the middle of the site, very low, but he is able to actually get one out of that. Derek, double shocks, has the angle back on Brock. John QT, not able to find him. Derek peeks out, but Brock gets the shot through the wall, and Ghost Ghost Gaming are gonna win map 1.
What a great closeout there for Ghost Gaming. 100 Thieves, they found a pulse in the game for their attacking side. They started getting that spike down. They started slowing the game on down. But when it matters, Ghost Gaming do rally yet again and close things on out consistently. Their defense was so strong on this map. The mid-aggression by Koala took so long to be answered from, and their retakes as well. Well, it wasn't really working most of the time. It never even really fell to the retakes, because in the early round, they were providing pressure before that spike could even get on down.
Yeah, exactly that. 100T, they've been such a good team in terms of those retakes, but again, Ghost Gaming were doing everything in their favor to stop that condition and from even happening. And again, still later on in the half, we did get quite a few attempts from 100T to really catch Ghost Gaming off guard, but Ghost Gaming just weren't falling into those traps anymore. Once Koala Noob failed in his bottom mid rush, we didn't see a single little cheeky approach from Ghost Gaming later on in that half, and it ends up working out for our first map win, a very well deserved one for the team that ended up taking it.
Yeah, Ghost Gaming, map number 1 in their favor, but Icebox, a choice 100 Thieves in the desk, coming up after this.
Don't pause, press play. Don't pause, press play.
Team ready. Big dreams, big rings, we want it. You won't forget it. We came to handle business. My whole team ready. Big dreams, big rings, we want it. You won't forget it. We came to handle business.
You have yet to get the spike defused. Now it's getting tapped. Austin with the kill and goes for that swing. Another kill coming down as the spike is start towards Brick. The headshot onto Rossi.
Welcome back, everyone, to the VCT Challengers for NA, where we just wrapped up our first map for our second match of the day between 100 Thieves and Ghost Gaming. It was Ghost Gaming's map pick, and then they did take the map, but Ender, I do have to say, it was pretty nail-biting, especially towards the end.
Oh yeah, it was super back and forth, and we saw a little bit towards the start of the half where 100 Thieves, rather, I almost said TSM. 100 Thieves were playing that retake style that we know they have done, just giving up the A site so many times in a row, and Ghost Gaming weren't able to exploit that a ton, but I feel like we saw so many of these clutch moments at the end. Bang again! How twice in one day do we just get a 1v5 clutch ace? That is just unreal.
Yeah, just ridiculous. But I think, yeah, the stat in the bottom of the screen right there actually does show off how that first half went, and it's ridiculous from Ghost Gaming. I mean, I definitely credit this a little bit to how 100 Thieves was playing retake wise, but they got the spike down 11 times, 11 out of 12 rounds. We were just watching Retake Simulator for the most of that, and it was 8 rounds towards the A side. They started to kind of change up how they were approaching that attack side towards the end, which did catch 100 Thieves off guard and kind of made this possible for them. And then on the second half, it was just gorgeous holds over and over from players like Brock, Koala Noob. Everybody was hitting today.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I think a lot of the times when you see teams that play like a quote-unquote like retake style, they don't just like give up the site completely for free. Like they'll invest a lot of utility to try and like kill the planter or get chip damage, even if they're not directly fighting you on the site. But because 100 Thieves were leaning like so heavily towards like mid or elbow or away from that A site, like they oftentimes just weren't even contesting on A, instead just playing around the cypher trips and using their utility to fight you as you try to leave the site. And that didn't end up getting them a ton of value, I don't think. I do like 100 Thieves' idea of playing that full-on 5-on-5, but they weren't able to get the big chip damage down early that a lot of teams will find on planters on this piece.
Yeah, it's funny because we kind of talked a little bit about the post-plant stats for 100 Thieves before this, but Ghost flipped those on their head, right? Like, they were the guys who were getting on site. They were the guys with, you know, pretty good success. I mean, 100 Thieves is still a great defensive team. But then on the other half, 100 Thieves was just not able to get on the side. It was so difficult for them. None of their ideas were working. I mean, multiple times they tried to even KO ult on site, and you know, Ghost is just prepped for it.
And with that win, Ghost secures yet another win on Breeze. We went back and looked, and Ender, there is a ridiculous statistic out. Ghost is something like 17 or 18 straight wins in a row, including this win right here. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, the last time they lost Breeze after 17 wins in a row was February 2nd against FaZe in the round of 32, trying to qualify. This is before they even like qualified for a main event in the stage 2. That is all the way back in the history books. Completely different back then. This Ghost team is on a tear at the moment, and while winning this series won't be able to guarantee them a first seed because they don't have the head-to-head against XSET, this team is a serious threat in the playoffs.
Absolutely, and I'd be curious to see how they're going to differ on our next map. It is going to be on Icebox. We mentioned that we've seen Ghost be very, very comfortable on Breeze, but Icebox, Bala, is not a map we've actually seen them play yet in the main event.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what to expect from them on this map, and I do think that this is a map where 100 Thieves is really comfortable in a way that other teams aren't. And I think that's a credit to the coaching staff, but specifically Mike's HD, because now multiple of his teams have had a great Icebox. But 100 Thieves they're still, I mean, innovating a little bit. They're playing the Killjoy on this map. They're coming up with unique positions to play post plants. They're coming up with nice ult combinations that can trap people, and they're, you know, iterating on even basic stuff like mid splits down the line. So excited to watch this map. It should be a banger.
Right, and meanwhile, Ghost Gaming, the last time we saw it was in the open quals versus the Knights to actually make it here to the event. They were playing like pretty standard stuff, jetless composition with a KO in that slot for them. I wonder if there will be a little bit more innovation from them, because on so many maps, what Ghost like to do is go for utility that pairs super nicely together. I've been like praising and trying to, you know, talk the good word about the European Icebox style, the Fnatic G2 style, with working the Killjoy into a composition. I hope Ghost have worked on something like that for me today.
All right, so let's just open that Pandora's box, because we are ready to head into Asian Select in just a moment here. If you could get your best dream here, coming out of the Ghost lineup, if they do pull out a magical lineup here that will tickle every innovative feather in your body, what would that be?
Honestly, I think flashes aren't necessary on this map. I think you can drop a KO slot. Now, Nismo's KO is pretty sick, but just swapping out a KO for a Killjoy and playing heavy post plant, really sexy lockdown on that B side, I think it's so good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I would have loved to see him pick the Rays, but because that's just so meta at this point in the current plays. But also run the Fade on this map. I mean, we've seen other teams run it to some varying degrees of success, and for a team that's like super, prep heavy, it could have worked, but instead they're going, very standard, the old optic comp, basically, just, yay, or the chamber only and the KO, no duelist, that sort of thing.
Yeah, meanwhile, turbo-based 100 Thieves on the other side. No jet, no chamber. Don't need those cheater abilities in our comp. Stellar loves playing the Cypher and the Killjoy. Seeing that on this map is really cool. It's a little surprising to see Sova next to Raze. Again, I think Fade plus Raze is such an insane combo that on maps you're picking Raze, you should just be playing the Fade. But overall, it does give you a lot of scouting potential here, and I like overall what I'm seeing.
Well, we had such a close map number 1 on Breeze. We'll see if Ghost can somehow surprise us after we have not seen them play Icebox in the main event so far and secure a 2-0 here, or will 100 Thieves be able to tie it up? Mimi and Upmind, take it away.
Thanks so much to the desk. 100 Thieves here on the precipice of losing out on that coveted first spot. But Icebox, traditionally a very good map for them. However, on the side of Ghost Gaming, some switch-ups in the composition and a great opportunity here, Gus.
Yeah, a little bit. You could call switch-ups in the composition, but we haven't seen them play whatsoever in this split, or in the regular season at least. We did see them play beforehand on this map. But yeah, it's what we expected though in terms of the comp. It's very suitable for this map, and they're actually going to start off with quite a bit of pressure towards that B side.
Yeah, with this composition for Ghost Gaming, a lot reliant on Kawalanu, but performed so well in towards map number 1. You already see that aggression coming down from him. We'll walk up through the tube, rendezvous to get out, but this is expected. 100 Thieves holding heavily the space in mid. Koala could be in trouble, but with a rendezvous and a quick shot with the headhunter, he should be out scot-free.
Spike down mid.
Oh, but Koala noob at Proto. There you go. Snacking up to 3. 100T. Very close to at least flicking away one of those players away towards their spawn, but instead it has to be these last 2 players from 100T going into a free A site.
Yeah, but there's a trademark. This was the setup all along. Ghost wanted heavy presence in mid and B, play retake here, and the trademark should spot out bang. This will call for the rotations, and I don't even know if this spike will be able to come on down. Actually, util a bit too far away. They don't rotate as fast as I expected. So a post plant here, 2 mollies to work with, 1 from each agent, but the onus is on bang here. He wants to take an early fight.
Kind of has to make the odds just a bit better for his team, but look at this from Ghost. Not a single player actually heading out towards that mid position. Could be considered a bit easier of a battle to try to take on if you are Bang, or if you're really anyone in the middle of that site. Bang essentially gets isolated in a 1vx. That waterfall takes him down. A Proto takes down Stellar 2. Ghost is going to be able to take down the first.
Beautiful setup there from Ghost Gaming. Aggression in towards mid. Great work out of Kawalanu. Support flash comes through from Nismo, so no one is able to trade him on out, and just gets away. Puts his team on a great course. I love to see on Pisteron a little bit more kind of gambly aggression, especially when you're playing with a comp like this, where you do have that cringe get out of jail free card that the chamber brings to the table, and works well for Ghost Gaming in that one. Pistol rounds continuing to look pretty solid over for Ghost. As 100 Thieves will just look to go fast towards B, hoping to get the spike down in this one.
It's going to be 2 players. Pretty close here. Koala noob does, of course, have that Headhunter alongside a Ghost to work with. His teammates should be able to take down that recon bolt real quick, but this is not exactly the best of positions for this Headhunter. Could be able to find maybe 1 or 2, though, out of this, but the classic uppercuts Koala noob.
And the wall will block things on off. There's a risk by placing that rendezvous. Most chambers will just leave the rendezvous behind the barrier, but in that one, he placed it forward, so it can be heard. 100 Thieves expect it. Now they have both a man advantage and a spike plant. With a comp like this, post plants can be so potent no matter your guns.
Yeah, exactly that. No matter your guns, and it's classics all the way down the board. Brock is trying to at least find 1 or 2 to try to make their way in. Again, that's just probably the most important part. Just make sure that 100T aren't playing these crazy off-angle crossfires in the back of sight. They pretty much have all of that control. That's okay. As time goes by, Stellar's actually able to take down 2 from the very top rope. Nismo coming in, has to help out a bit. Again, it is still that 2v3, but no guns in the hands of 100T just yet. And Nismo just continuing to frag, even pulls out the sidearm to complete the frag. Nismo saving the day. 2 players survive for Ghost.
Great work by Nismo to close things on out, and I also want to give credit to Brock. They realized how heavy the setup for 100 Thieves is in playing that post plant, so he immediately shock darts close on the spike, breaks any killjoy utility that would have been there, and also deal some damage to the players in close. Still, I think for Ghost Gaming, trying to push a player on top of that box in B main and moving that rendezvous is a bit of a risk that obviously didn't work out for them. Still, they will just be sticking to the bonus round. The 3 Spectres kept on over. Couple pistols. 100 Thieves looking good. They've spotted B as a weak point, but Ghost have changed it up. 3 players now stationed on this site.
Yeah, for good reason, though. It's still just the SMGs and the pistols that Ghost are trying to save up, or at least trying to make the most mileage out of. Nismo in the front line, almost able to get 1, but Derek actually swinging back in. Almost everyone from 100T trying to fight this B main approach, except for potentially 1, of course, that being the spike carry all the way over on A. 3 players for Ghost at the very beginning of the round over in B main, now only 2.
Aggression coming out of Brock, though. He wants to walk up in towards main. Asuna and Bang should be holding for this one, but this position in jail could be a little bit spicy. It's a tough angle to clear. Ponytail was spotted, but the trail of Brock's cape was as well, so Silver falls on back. 4 players over towards this A site, and 100 Thieves will look to walk into it.
But Ghost's rotation is perfect, but or not. 100T, they didn't even get information in the back of A. This is just a very spiritual take, or a very almost Nostradamus-like rotation.
Before they go on in.
Yeah.
You know, just fully invested in that one, I suppose. B-side will be open for the taking here, so maybe 100 Thieves getting the better out of that one. Wall comes on down, Asuna will plant, and in comes the mollies and the lineups to play towards this post. A little bit less utility than maybe you'd like, because Will already used that nade, but still. 4 mollies across Stellar and Bang make this retake almost impossible. Ghost Gaming will just look to do as much damage as they can.
Yeah, a couple exits here. So pivotal for them. Again, you just look at the economy for 100T. They haven't won a single round just yet. Still very fragile. Any of these guns that Ghost can take away from them. Oh, consider that a plus for them going forward. But it's not going to happen. Koala Noob does not take down Bang over towards that mid side, and the crossfire is good to prevent pretty much every kill there except for Will. Nismo now. Last round remaining. 1v4. Spike going to go away. He's going to try to at least throw himself out, even though he already has the ult point. So, anything is just for the cash. 2-1.
My question comes down to how these teams want to play in the mid control. For 100 Thieves, they have a lot of resources to just play containment and not necessarily have to contest. But for Ghost Gaming, with a comp like this, with the Chamber and with the KO, they're incentivized to hold space there. If you can get an operator posted on that angle under tube or in front of that Viper orb, you can hold the cross in towards the late round. And that's great against a team like 100 Thieves that loves playing their defaults, loves swinging things back and forth in the late round. Even with a composition like this that's reliant on getting the spike plant down, they rarely fully force a spike down and put themselves in disadvantageous positions. Instead, they tend to play patient. So that's a space I'm watching in this round as Koala Noob's off will instead be over towards the B site and will be spotted out by the drone.
Ooh, spotted even more. Recon Bolt's gonna go out. Ends up using that rendezvous. Getting out of there, and like you said, Mimi, 100T very much setting up for the long run. They're actually gonna put up a lockdown here on B as a fake.
Yeah, it's just a fake. How many players will bite off this one? Because look, a drone's coming back through mid. That doesn't spawn anyone out. And that'll be the call for the rotation off. The lockdown actually goes deep enough that no one can hold the deep angle in A. And while Will is out holding close on site, his life doesn't really matter here. His only priority is buying time, and he does for at least a few seconds. Spike can come down on it.
Oh, perfect. He did his job. Of course, he would have wanted 1 or 2 kills out of that. But the entire time that 100T needed to actually rotate their way over, did exactly that. So here we go. 4 on 3. Not too much utility to look at in terms of this retake here for Ghost, but you have to watch out for 100T. They do have a shock. They do have double mollies to utilize. Suppressed right now. Asuna just can't make his way out. Just can't do anything. But this is such a pivotal position. This wall, nobody's going to check right in front of him, are they? No, they're not. Asuna's able to get 1, but he spotted 2. Brock's still taking 1 back on the Bang, and it's a 1v3 for Derek. He does have the angle, but so does everyone else. The defuse will go down for Ghost for a 3rd.
Really excellent retake there out of Ghost Gaming. 100 Thieves thus far have managed to get the spike plant down every single one of these rounds, and they've won 3 out of 4 of them. Excellent work on the retake, and a big part of that is how proactive they've been in the early round. They know 100 Thieves is a team that likes to default a little bit. They're drawing out as much utility as possible in that one and putting themselves in these positions where they can just spam on down, have enough util on their side saved on up, and play well in for these retakes. The read that there'd be a player up towards the second story, and even if they didn't quite take him down initially, killing Asuna there before there's time to fully spam down that wall forces players to swing on forward. Also, losing Stellar early, you lack out on 2 of your mollies, a couple critical kills there, and suddenly Ghost Gaming is in a great position, and well, the position in this round is aggressive. Wall boost up for Koala Noob. Spot space early towards A main. They realize it's unlikely to be a play in this direction, so invest rotations over towards the B side.
Yeah, look how fast this rotation is. 4 players are going to be in the middle of this B side by the time 100 team make their way on. The recon bolt might help a little bit, but nobody's actually getting spotted by it. The side is going to be free for them to actually get this plant, but is it going to be a high value plant?
I love this orb. Spike denial is the goal here on the wide angle. Plant will be committed, and spam will not quite get damage done onto Asuna, but Spike Plant is down, and while Asuna dies, the characters with the good post-plant utility, those agents in Stellar, Derek, Will, and Bang are still alive.
Oh, Nismo! The knife could be so big. Could it deny potentially a Viper, a snake bite or two? And indeed it does! It suppressed absolutely everyone in that back line! Now they have to approach. Now they have to fight. Take down these players before they can get that utility back. Stellar does take down Koala Noob, though, and Stellar just keeps going. This could just be the hold they need, and indeed it happens! They have enough time to throw out their snake bites, and 3 kills come in from Stellar at the same time. The Viper's Pit biting away so much damage. Bang on the front line, trying to find John QT, but the spike is not down to half. Oh, 100 T. 1 or 2 seconds there, 1 or 2 interactions don't go their way. Could easily go to Ghost, but they fight tooth and nail for a second.
See, it looks really scary there, and it does that. That knife coming on through provides a lot of value in delaying that utility. But the thing is, these post-plants for 100 Thieves, they just have players who are just dedicated to being the sacrifice. And usually, in order of importance, it's Asuna, then Will, then Derek. Just as long as Bang and Stellar are alive in these late rounds, they will win rounds just off that clock being ticked on down. That's exactly what happened there. Asuna dies off the rip. It's a 5v4, but they have a Viper's Pit up. That stalls more time. They lose another player. Still Viper's Pit, still stall, and it's the utility that wins it in the end there for 100 Thieves. Those layers are really tough to break.
A little sad. Not at this point. 100T are dealing with a bit of pressure back over towards that A main area, but they have dissipated it quite a bit. Ghost backing up towards the back of their own site. Gonna have to be at least immediate action to try to stop this push back over in short. That wall actually being quite the pain in the side of Ghost right now, because again, it is just pistols. They're barely able to break it down. Ain't is able to go down without a single casualty, though. You have Lil on the front side, potentially able to farm up a couple of frags. That owl drone actually pretty big. They can actually burst out of the wall if they absolutely wanted to, but they're not going to be able to do so. Koala Noob, the only person with a rifle here, could make a bit of an impact. But we actually just need to have the approaches. We actually need to have some open space for this team. What is this wall here? It's perfect for the gap, or it's perfect, at least for a little cubby for that defuse, but it's just not going to happen for the round. Finally, the kills goes in, but Koala and Proto get some trades back, 3-3.
Really nice late round flank from Bang. Thus far, 100 Thieves have conditioned Ghost that there isn't going to be flanks in the late round. That's just a committal in towards playing this post plant. And this one, he works the space there on the anti-eco, and in a big way, might have saved the round. That player stays alive. Spike was already halved. You hold things down. Molly misses. Some little thing goes wrong, and things could have gotten pretty bad for 100 Thieves, but they don't in this one. Ghost Gaming will have the money back in their favor, and they have a Viper's Pit to use early here, as well as that operator for Koala Noob. He's playing the same position as his Viper right now, so I'd imagine this is a close pit. He can either hold the angle above, or it appears just elect to play back, make sure no one gets tricky up top that rope.
He's going to hold that angle for the rope, like you said, but he is going to be Will bursting through that rendezvous. Does save him for a second there, but a Proto, he's the one that has to hold it down. He's the one that has to keep his Viper's Pit alive. He is able to take down one in terms of Asuna, but the rest doesn't happen. Brock actually early on pulling out his Hunter's Fury. He's not able to catch absolutely anything.
You should run.
Yeah, but look at this flank already coming through. Ghost has found a lot of space, and there's nothing watching this. The turret is
Such a deep
deactivated.
lockdown.
Players too far away. The lockdown will go. Now Ghost's priority is just to keep 100 Thieves preoccupied. Keep them focused on the fight for the front site, and that job has been done well. A player detained. The flank's still coming through, and Bang's making noise. He's not looking, and he'll die to John.
There goes that one kill from John. Do they have any idea that a second is here? Nismo up top, looking for an angle on the Stellar, but Stellar is just going to be waiting for potentially a crossback. Oh, the barrel spotted, and Nismo takes him down. Only 2 players remaining, and they're getting sandwiched. Players from Ghost coming in from every single angle possible, and it's going to work out for all the pressure in the world. John QT takes down 3 off the flank, and it's going to give Ghost a 4th.
The trend has continued. Every single round, 100 Thieves is getting this spike down, but it's different than usual. Ghost Gaming has found consistent success in playing this retake, and the flank in that one, a big part of it. Finding space on the back line, catching an off timing for Bang, denying that utility before it can find value. Wins them out on the round. A bold call by 100 Thieves. Showstopper straight on through. Try and punish the player in the pit initially. Works so well for them, but still, tried and true, getting that plant down. Not finding full success in this one.
Back to it now. 100T. They're going to have their guns back going into the next. We've seen such overwhelming pressure from Ghost off of retakes so far. It's actually been kind of funny that 100T, they've been able to have actually pretty easy access to the sites that they've actually been able to get plants for. But Ghost's retakes have been so good so far. You could at least put that on a couple of players. Of course, Nismo and Kuala Lumpur have actually been pretty good off those retakes, but overall util for this team has been so good in those situations.
Yeah, and a lot of that is Nismo and Brock pushing players back, buying that time. 100 Thieves won't be able to buy in this one, though. Just the lesser weapons to work with, and no big ults to change the tide of this round. I hope to maybe get that spike plant down, win off your utility, but even that has proven to be troublesome. Ghost Gaming continues to show different setups on this defense. They're very variable in where they position this operator for Kuala Lumpur. Sometimes it's towards B main, sometimes it's up top on A, giving him that freedom. Has a lot of value in these opening kills.
So it's actually the eco here. Half buy from 100C. Actually, thus meaning now that we're seeing this this default, these types of guns, it's actually beg to differ what their goal actually is, because they're not getting any sort of progress back over towards that mid side where potentially those pistols could make some more damage. Back over in B, no matter what they tried, they're not able to get anything. It was just about the presence. See if they could potentially get a fake, pull a rotation or 2. It's going to end up here on A.
Ghost Gaming was worried about the play towards mid. They run it out. Now they know it's over towards A, and John starts things right.
It's going to be John with the first. John continuing, actually. It's only that one other player back over towards elbow. Now, point your eyes over towards a Proto. Proto, a massive opportunity for 1, 2, or 3. His Viper's Pit is all the way down to 0 in terms of the ult points, but he could actually make some pretty decent progress to it. Indeed he does. He's only able to get 2 out of that, but Brock gets the last. A Prime Gaming flawless to give Ghost a 5th.
Great work out of Ghost Gaming. The position
they were gaming
on these, yeah, they were gaming. Very true, very true, Gus. The orb positioning for a Proto, I really like the switch ups he's making. He's really committed to setting these orbs up just for anti-plant to make that chip damage all the better. You'll see it sometimes over towards B on that position that's the default plant for 100 Thieves, sometimes over on A in the position you see it now. Well, that not only denies entry in towards the site, it makes it all the more difficult to try and stick that plant or disrespect the setup, which 100 Thieves doesn't do a lot, but they don't even really have the opportunity in this one. Koala, though, he's so deep. He can push forward off the knife, has information from it, and he'll grab the frag onto Derek.
That's only the one he needs. Now Nismo on the front side. Ooh, he's gonna get caught by the alarm bomb, but he just wanted the frag. Will was fully flashed.
You will not.
The fact that he gets that kill into Nismo is a miracle. Only one person left here on B. Ghost putting a lot of chips on the fact that it might be A.
Here. 4 players there. But they have Kuala Lumpur in this critical angle. Know if a cross is coming either way, and now that turret broken. It's pressure on 100 Thieves to keep the player containing that space. Kuala will re-rotate back. Correct angle here. If you can just get
Well,
one, get out, the
open.
retake is so doable.
Koala Noob, such a difficult position, but again, he's playing for his rendezvous. It's such a good off angle, but Will with the satchel doesn't get caught whatsoever. That wall will be good for the plant. No post plant util though, at least so far. I'm sure Stellar could come back and try to help out, but he is in quite the important position back over in mid. A Proto looking around the corner, and Stellar is going to have no effect on the later parts of this round.
Yeah, but still, time is an issue. Double shock darts. Double molly's available for Bang. He'll use his first one already.
He's still quite slow. You still have this wall in front of them. They're just throwing out whatever util they can to actually be able to burst out from that yellow box. But again, so much time being crunched off the clock. 100T, they have no angle though. They have no one in yellow box. They need to burst through this wall, and it's gonna work. Knock down the walls and knock down all the pins. 100T, they take a round.
Will has been so proactive in these post plants in so many of the rounds, just proving himself as a sacrifice in that one. Doing it all to keep things going. Wall plays don't tend to be so effective against 100 Thieves. It's just always going to have that one player holding back. Satchel goes through, spam is off that. 100 Thieves, well, they're dedicated to playing the post off this utility. They're never afraid to fight, and having kind of both those options, depending on how much time is left, is what makes them so good in those situations. Still, Ghost Gaming, plenty left to spare, and a push up over towards A, 3 players strong.
This is a lot of info, but I don't know what they're actually going to be able to do with this info. Only that one player watching back over towards that mid side. It has to be Koala Noob. That needs to be Shifty. He just randomly lost a shot behind the wall, and it just works. He was trying to track the footsteps, if I'm not mistaken, but Nismo over towards the mid side does at least take down one. Ghost now. They find themselves in the 5v3 already.
They do a miss shot by Koala, so Spike will be able to make its way on down. Bar the shock darts, finding something. It's Stellar. Instead, he finds Valorant and knows that the round is on him. He'll push deeper, walk past danger. If Proto swings, this could get so weird, but he's holding his nerve. Not swinging forward just yet. Now we'll take the duel, but it's only
Great
one.
trade.
Derek on the trade back. It started so strong for Ghost, and now a 2v2 in the post.
Oh, we are going to see a revive, though. There's one in the middle of this site. It's going to be Brock and lift it up, and not only that, okay, the recon bolt too. A massive piece of util to get back into the site. They even had a flash to use too. How are they going to utilize it? Nismo getting revealed at the moment. Derek, a massive peek, but he's only able to get 2. This angle from Asuna could be so big. Does he find the diffuser? No, he won't. And the diffuse will go down to the very end, but it's going to be the defuse from Brock.
6-4 now, Ghost Gaming continuing to get these post plants done. In this one, it was them taking advantage of those flanks. Thus far, Ghost Gaming, well, they've had a few rounds where they're committing in towards those flank plays. Generally, they're just playing hard retake from their spawn side. With a walk up through A main, it was always happening. With that op shot connecting, there's an expectation from 100 Thieves that there'll be more pressure on that B site. They just look to continue in that direction, and flank is so punishing. Big ults here, though. Stellar has the lockdown. Generally, you'll see them just go B all the time. Unless you have a lockdown, then you can go away and take that space.
Nade alongside the shock dart. Being sure that all-important ult orb with only 2 rounds remaining gets pressured out. Doesn't exactly equate into a frag though, but look at this position from Nismo. The owl drone's gonna go around. It's not gonna spot him. Will might have been able to spot him though, maybe through the radar, but it's not gonna happen. Nismo can now just play whack-a-mole here, but is it actually Asuna gonna be able to pop up? No, yeah, he wants to play with him. Nismo still aiming for a shot or two, and Derek, that jump up was actually a really good idea. Splitting the angle with Asuna, at least splitting the attention of Nismo, and the lockdown's gonna be able to go out, and it's gonna be pretty much a free A site.
Mid flank is coming through here. A player walks up. That's Bang. I don't know if he has utility to block off that armbot, and he doesn't, so we forced to fall away, but that Hunter's Fury is perfection. Goes to the gap behind the lockdown, but Brock is still alive despite it all. Pushes forward, finds a double. Spike is on the ground. A Proto is flanking. This round might just be over because it's Derek left with the clutch, and, well, he'll find the first.
Oh, Molly's, Hunter's Furies, shock darts. What more do you need to take him down, Brock? Again, in such a pivotal situation, such a pivotal position. It's essentially the catalyst that puts his team in this 2-man advantage here. Derek, dancing on top, is able to find at least one in terms of bodies, in terms of information, but definitely not the frag. Gianni's still alive, and Gianni's gonna get the kill. 7-4. Ghost looking for a big half.
Last round in the half.
Big one indeed here. I believe that's the first round all game that we actually got denial of the spike. Every other round but that one. Spike comes down, gets planted for 100 Thieves, but Ghost change that up. 2 rounds, 1 in a row. They'll take the timeout. They know the difference between 8-4, 7-5. Very big in this game.
I mean, what a game so far, at least from Ghost. I feel as if most of the holes from them have been quite straightforward. So let's talk about 100T real quick. We were talking about the conditioning for them early on in the half, how they were barely touching around mid, but still very much having a presence. Mimi, what happened to that? 100T, they've completely abandoned it.
I mean, they're still putting that turret there. That's generally just kind of always going to be there. Stellar posts that up. Not too much walk-up coming through, but it's always a big risk to actually try and commit in towards that space. You saw that previous round. Bang went for a lurk, but there was still a trademark in position towards the kitchen. You see pings coming out there, so maybe they'll try and change that round with the changes to Icebox. And with a comp like this, double satchel your raise up over, you can find a lot of value from these splits in towards B. And the pings, imagine that's actually what they're going to go for in this one. Ghost Gaming doesn't tend to position a lot of players there, but they've had good reads. Just in the previous round, they realized it was going to be a hit towards A, provide aggression in that area, win the round off of it.
See what Ghosts are actually thinking about this round, though, because I don't think we're going to get too much of that B main aggression, potentially. Definitely a bit of a lineup, though, early on, and that might actually help for that quote-unquote peak. It's going to be Nismo alongside Qualanoob on that front side. They are able to actually detect, too. That's a big detection.
Well, that's a showstopper. I feel like that's going to be the linchpin in this round. How much value you can find, how much space you can create off of it. Bang one away. And that fight was built, but this time it's perfect. They know they're in main. It is a death trap. Brock shuts down 2. The op was there on the other side. And even insult to injury, these 2 players locked out. The spike's still in their possession, but they're just going to be walking into a Viper's pit.
I mean, Ghost just win. It's just a Hunter's Fury does it. Just well placed again. You had that knife come out, get that information over in B main, but it was so long after that where we actually got the Hunter's Fury. Just good positioning there from Ghost back over in B main, making sure that 100T could take up as much control as possible without Ghost needing to fight. And it's going to work out for a Prime Gaming Flawless to finish up the half. Ghost looking so good to go into the second half. Let's see how they finish things up as we look through the Prime Gaming Flawless.
100 Thieves, but a defensive side in which they can look to rally. Normally stoic in their post plans, Ghost Gaming proved adept in the retakes and find themselves just a few rounds away from the better seed.
100 Thieves, they're going to start off potentially with a bit of aggression back over towards B main, and that's exactly where Ghost is going.
Now that it is. Doing setup here, Stellar will just look to place that Molly under tube, deny any aggression in that area, but aggression instead is coming over towards main, drone out. 100 Thieves will concede on back, but they have the raise to deny plant. If that nade can go on in, if a wall from Austin could go on in, they can buy time for the rest of the team to rotate. And instead of rotating, they're actually re-pushing in mid. Koala has to contain this, and he just can't.
Somehow that combo mid actually works out for the frag. Derek in one fell swoop takes down Qualanoob. You still have Will around the corner. Such a cheeky little spot for Will too, but an even better little elevator there for Brock as he takes down Will from above. That flash is even better though. Nismo looking for a 50-50 against Asuna, and indeed it works, and he's able to take down another one in terms of Stellar. A Proto back over in mid, spots Bang, but not able to get a couple of bullets in. Bang could easily get flanked on in just a couple of seconds here, and he has no clue. He's trying to get into a firing range type position, but a Proto comes up from behind, but Bang calls him out completely. The knife hits Bang right into his chest, but he's just fine. Still 92 HP to work with. Uh-oh, no. He has to break through the wall to actually get through. A little bit awkward here, but he still has one of his snake bites to work with, but it's not exactly beneficial. He has a Sova behind him. He has another person in front of him. Nismo barely peeking out, but is able to get the frag. 9-4.
What a great round there by Ghost Gaming. They initially lose a player in towards mid, but the quick hit out on sight, the aggression forward from Nismo was all lovely. But the thing I'm looking towards is the play that they had in mid. You saw Proto tucked back in that area, just looking to hold down the flank there with the help of the trademark positioned outside A. I believe he even had a Molly lineup from that position in mid, similar to the lineups that EG were using when they planted up top. But from that position, you can toss out your snake bites, buy a little bit of time, and then flank in the very late round.
Going forward, you're going to have more presence from Ghost, potentially trying to shut down some of those flanks, or at least potential. His presence back over in B main alongside a lot of early util back over in A main, but it's actually just quite the opposite. It's just an early fake setup.
Here.
Deploying drone.
Ghost Gaming.
He's going to hear that.
Yeah. They're aware that this is more likely to be a heavier setup over towards the A site, and they'll just drone over towards B. Viper Wall, this should all be pretty simple to win things on out. They're being very thorough in the angles they do clear, but in doing so, they have given time for 100 Thieves to start to rotate on over. No matter the weapons, a race nade can still find a lot of value into delaying that plant or finding frags on a player stuck in close.
Ooh, great snake bite too. Leaves not so much space for this team to actually get this plant down. Very good wall to pressure up from Nismo alongside the shock darts. Into the top is working out for a bit of damage, but finally the Spectres are making the difference in this round. Only one person remaining. Asuna looking to peek out, potentially get one. Probably only one. Still stuck with a classic, but a Proto from behind. 4 kills from a Proto. You gotta look at his ult points.
Yeah, I'm wondering now if that's a pivot for how Ghost play this next round. Play forward, either get a Proto to plant things on down, grab an orb.
Such a big
Spectres
win
can be
condition.
so good if you get yourself in towards a post plant with that Viper's Pit. Might just be the idea. They're looking to lean heavily over towards A. The hope is to get themselves in towards a post plant position, but the 100 Thieves setup will be good to delay. They show a lot of looks with this Killjoy on the defensive side. Sometimes it's playing over towards mid, holding down the fort for a kitchen walk-up or anyone trying to get sneaky under tube, and sometimes it's a bit of a more forward setup. In A, in this one, it's a turret that can contact and support Will as well as Molly's to buy space for the team.
Will's just gonna back up all the way back over towards mid, so Stellar, he's the only one that has to depend on, of course, that utility. Not even gonna get utilized, though. He does run away. Full sight take is going to happen here for Ghost. Well, it does take down one, though. Again, we are still looking at SMGs alongside the Ghost for this team. The long-range interactions aren't going to go great for them, and the shock darts just rain in. It doesn't matter what they're trying to do in terms of that plant. They have the right util to deny it. Still just about a minute left, but Ghost are already down to 3.
And at this point, I don't think they even want to use that Viper's Pit. Nothing committed off of it. Dart goes in deep. Nismo wants a fight here. He has a pop flash to go through the wall, but Stellar was ready for it. Shuts down the trade. It's good, but somehow Brock still finds that kill. Bang! On a trade back, though, and he keeps the round all nice and in good shape for him.
What you expected again, but Ghost. Now they are going to get that full Viper's Pit out and ready for this next round. But the opposite here for 100T. They don't have it, but they actually are only 1 ult point away from it too. If Bang does actually want to contest and try to get that ult point early, could potentially try to cover off one of these mains, but it's not going to happen. He's going to be quite far away to actually fight over Furby. So now it's just Ghost all the way back over in A.
Really slow orb off the rip to deny aggression up top, but slow orb goes the other way. I was thinking that maybe that was the play to slow up top and then Sage Wall boost fight forward, but nothing more happens off of it.
An interesting idea, but it seemed like they still wanted that control, at least on top of the ult orb. Here comes the actual approach. You see a wall go up over in short. Owl Drone was able to catch at least 2 there for 100T, but this wall here, this is just separating the space that 100T have complete control of. Same thing with Ghost, and it's going to converge in just a little bit. It's 50-50 on top of 50-50. Are Ghost actually going to look to pop through this wall? It's such a volatile wall.
Oh, that forward for Derek. He'll swing off of it. Reveals 3, takes 1.
God, that is such a good shot, or excuse me, recon bolt there from Derek. And he ends up swinging out with it, but a Proto! Was that a spray transfer? It doesn't even matter! He still keeps going, but he just dies to the molly! He could have backed up into the corner, he could have stayed alive, but instead, Brock forced now into a 1v2. Definitely helped out by those huge kills from a Proto. A little bit early on, but again, Brock Full control of the back of sight. He doesn't see anyone. It's purely because of 100T. They're wrapping back from the back of A main. Brock, 18 seconds left, 17 seconds left. He doesn't even have the option to rotate. He's just looking to fake. He's just looking to find anyone. Bang, is he actually going to peek this? With the spike not down, indeed he will. It's a 1v1 now. Stellar has no idea where this man is. Time is running out, but the plane will be able to go down, but Stellar has the angle. 6th round back for 100 Thieves. They are back in this game.
Very calculated bait there by Stellar. There's a high risk if he just swings to trade his teammate. If he just stops, waits, then that starts to put so many questions into the head of Brock. And, well, the answers didn't quite work out for him. He was worried about someone re-pushing from defensive spawn from a second flank, and the angle was just right to close on that. These rounds are massive for 100 Thieves at the deficit they currently find themselves. So losing 1 or 2 gun rounds totally slips the balance away from you.
I mean, look at this. I mean, they're even left the shorty in the hands of Qualinoob. Is Qualinoob playing shorty full armor?
It's because he has the headhunter, so he'll just be able to use
Oh,
that
right,
as his primary
yep.
weapon. Shorty's his secondary.
Yeah,
I wish
that's
he was
gaming.
just using
That's
the shorty. Be a little more fun. Ooh, similar Hunter's Fury setup to what we saw in the first half. This one will find quite a bit less value, though. I do want to talk about, we have this one, the anti-eco, about the performance that a Proto has found. If he doesn't die to the Molly in that previous round, they probably win things on out. He was able to pick up 3, had the Viper's Pit to be able to hold on down, and so many of these rounds, specifically on the attacking side, the value that he's found has been great. It's not even in late round lurks, it's been in some really proactive plays to make it as close as it has been in these rounds for Ghost Gaming.
Ghost, they have finally approached your all 5. Again, with the low guns, with the low pistols. Do have that full control, though. Great shark dart.
They want to push deep. They put down this wall, flash on through, and Will's going to be isolated in that corner.
Nismo's going to be able to get a free one. What was that shot from Nismo? Okay, buddy, that's going to be the plan there, but it's the hero rifle. It's called a hero rifle for a reason. Hunter's Fury already out. Brock looking for anyone in the back of Snowman, but not going to be able to find anyone. The revive does go in, but Asuna is able to find a lineup. Derek, though, the last one remaining in a 1v3, has so many angles to peek. That headshot was so good onto John, though. Does he find a Proto? A Proto shocks him, though, from around the corner. 3 kills from a Proto. 11 rounds for Ghost. I don't know why we don't see Thrifty at the top of our screen, but we absolutely should. It was the hero rifle that did the damage. But Ghost, they come out with highway robbery.
Dude, a Proto and Nismo, the value they're finding in these rounds is so big. They've conditioned that this team is one that will just commit in towards the early plant, looking for posted a similar style to 100 Thieves, but they do the extension. Wall deep, flash through their own wall, and, well, find so much off of it. 100 Thieves forced into the timeout off that loss.
Such an important timeout for 100 Thieves. I think potentially they could invest into this round because, again, still went out the 2, relatively close round in the last. Man, oh man, this is now just uncharted territory. Ghost, a team that we just haven't seen play on Icebox so far this season, or excuse me, the way around. Oh, no, I was right. What am I saying? I am right. So Ghost, at least so far, from what we ended up seeing in the preseason, from the Icebox games that we ended up seeing in the preseason, Proto, he just didn't have the effect that we're looking at now.
It's a wild game for him.
It is. But again, a lot of his damage ended up coming out from that defensive side. And again, Viper here on Icebox just hasn't been that big of an effective agent, at least in the last few updates, in the last few months. But Proto has absolutely stepped up to the plate. 24 kills for him. Here we go into the next, folks. 100T. They're indeed going to stick around with the shares with the pistols, and they're all the way over in B mostly.
Viper's still generally that primary controller, but certainly a lot more out of the Omens. And, well, in this one, Bang's going to try and find the bits. He'll pop down the ult, but they're hunting for him, just trying to spray through the Viper's pit itself. The shot dart's now more potent, and they connect. Ooh. Bang is down, and the plants soon to follow. Ghost Gaming have themselves a great post plant, and a Proto's just going to lock down the flank. He'll find 3. This man continues to stand up for Ghost Gaming as Derek. Oh, he's alone. 1v5 a Ghost. There's just no chance. A Prime Gaming flawless to take series point.
Not to take series point, to go into series point, but it does make that difference. This one last round here for 100T. They had pistols in the last. They're going to have their rifles. They're going to have a couple ultis to work with, too. That was a big round for Ghost to a Proto. Able to charge up that Viper's Pit. Now 6 rounds separate Ghost and 100 Thieves. Can 100 Thieves salvage their #1 seed hopes?
Hopes on the line for him. 100 Thieves. We'll start to try and again play a little bit forward for Asna. Same slow field, but same one again in reply. 100 Thieves just walked up deep in towards B main though. That Roomba has been spotted, so Ghost Gaming is aware. Will could be close on this one. It's going to be very dangerous to re-clear this space. Drone comes through towards Amen. That doesn't spot the chamber, so now things get awkward. A bit of lurk-on-lurk action.
It's not going to get too awkward, though. Unless you actually do get that approach from 100 Thieves back over in B main. But this is big now. There's a man in kitchen looking for this cross, looking for this information. It's rare that we've even had presence back over in kitchen. And indeed, it's happening. Stellar. There goes his turret. And is he going to use a lockdown here?
It's a risk for sure. He has support of his teammate now, but I like the idea. But it's down below there. I don't think it can get wallbang from above, so they'll either force a fight forward, but Koalanoob this whole time, he had worked his way deep in towards A, and now with that lockdown pushing the team back, things get, again, very strange. The long pit is popped down. 2 players detained inside it. Asta has to make the tough decision of whether or not to fight this, but another flank on top of another flank. Will from behind takes Nismo, but still, the pit is active. Man, it is a weird one to clear if you're 100 Thieves.
These are just such awkward positions. Asuna, he gets caught out. Finally, plan going in. Bang's not going to be able to deny it, but he definitely sees it. Oh, what was that? The satchel knocks down Brock, and Bang, he gets a free one for him. Did Will kill his own teammates? Oh, my word. Koalanoob from below looking for the kill. And it's still just such an awkward position with such low HP in the middle of that site. But Bang sneaks out of the Viper's Pit and takes down Koalanoob. Now a 1v1 between himself and a Proto. Again, Bang, this isn't his pit. He goes all the way down to 1 HP. He has to go to the 2nd level to try to defuse. Surely a Proto has this. Surely the Molly should take him down. It's only 1 HP. Bang can't do anything. He has to look for a Proto, and it's not going to happen. Ghosts go 4-1 in this season with a massive win over 100 Thieves.
They knock 100 Thieves out of contention, meaning Xset claim the